Players who download the game using my link and use promo code TreeHugger can get the legendary Green Warden Roark completely free. Part of the game's new... In 2022, actor Terrence Howard appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience and said something that made mainstream scientists very uncomfortable. He claimed NASA's explanation for how planets form was completely wrong. Neil deGrasse Tyson and other experts immediately pushed back.
Terrence Howard was on to something. Everybody laughed him out because he's an actor.
They dismissed Howard as just another celebrity with fringe theories. But here's the thing. Some respected scientists have been saying the same things as Howard for over 100 years. To explain how planets form, NASA teaches the accretion model. After a star forms, leftover dust and gas start clumping together. These clumps, called planetesimals, gradually collect more and more material, like snowballs rolling down a hill. Eventually, they become planets. Sounds reasonable. That's what we were taught in school. But there are serious problems.
Listen, they basically warming everybody up. It's not that they're about to expose everything. Technology pushed everything too fast, so things is being exposed without them being able to cover it up. Bigfoots, giants, aliens, my favorite. So look, I know they're gearing us up to definitely be exposed to aliens. You got Elon Musk on Mars, right? You're talking about they found life on Mars, not intelligent life, but like organic compounds like in the rocks and stuff. Even look like little worms that was fossilized over time. And that being said, now they're talking about the giants was from the moon. I mean, from the giants, their moon was Mars. Why would they say that? Why would they say their moon was Mars? So they're either gonna, and somebody that was, hold up, let me.
The early solar system was violent chaos. Objects moved at 2 miles per second. That's almost 45,000 miles per hour. At those speeds, collisions don't create bigger rocks. They're smashed into dust. Yet NASA says these particles kept sticking together somehow. Then there's the plane of the ecliptic. The sun's gravity pulls equally in all directions, right? But all the planets orbit.
I'm watching the Wi-Fi's.
In a single flat disk, like marbles rolling around a ditch. Random debris naturally forming a flat plane sounds too perfect. The frost line is another problem. That's the distance from the sun where it's cold enough for gases to freeze solid. NASA says gas giants only form beyond this line, while rocky planets form inside it.
I gotta set y'all up. Y'all gotta tune in.
But astronomers keep finding
this is science.
Hot Jupiters. These are massive gas giants orbiting closer to their stars than Mercury orbits our sun. According to NASA's model, they shouldn't exist. Yet we've documented over 400 of them. Dr. Tom Van Flandern spent 20 years at the U.S. Naval Observatory calculating planetary orbits. He saw these contradictions firsthand. The accretion model couldn't explain what he was seeing in the data. So Van Flandern proposed something radical. The planets didn't form from dust. They didn't form from orbiting the sun. They formed inside it. And when the sun thought they were ready, those planets were born.
Rated M for mature.
Listen, I'm telling y'all we're gonna be exposed soon. So what would y'all rather be exposed to first? Aliens or giants? We had one of these tops, these guys in the CIA, they was doing remote viewing, and one of them remote view Mars, and he said that he saw people there. They were tall, and they looked at like they civilization was going extinct. They were hiding in like caves and shit like that. Yeah, man. So that remote viewing. So if he already said that in a remote viewing, tall people, giants. Now my man talking about it right here. It's going down. Stop playing. I'm done. I'm not even asking people, do you believe in Bigfoot? It's a fact.
Dr. Tom Van Flandern wasn't some internet conspiracy theorist making YouTube videos in his basement or his studio in Las Vegas. He had a PhD from Yale and spent over 20 years at the U.S. Naval Observatory. His job was calculating exactly where planets would be at any given moment, down to fractions of a second. The military needed this level of accuracy for navigation, satellite positioning, and who knows how many classified operations. Van Flandern was their guy, an expert on...
Yo, low key, the CIA know more than the Vatican's, man, for real.
Mechanics. But the more he studied planetary motion, the more the official story bothered him. The accretion model has too many holes. Random collisions creating perfect orbital planes. Planets have most of the solar system's spin, while the sun has most of the mass. Hot Jupiters exist where they shouldn't. The math didn't add up. So Van Flandern looked at an older idea that NASA had abandoned: solar fission. The theory goes like this. 4.5 billion years ago, the sun was not calm. It was spinning fast, too fast. And when a star spins too fast...
How many of y'all believe that the moon was a satellite that was brought here? I know a lot of people running around with that theory. I kind of buy into that, man, because when you look at the moon, I don't know, man, something about it look... I don't know.
It builds up something called angular momentum, the cosmic version of rotational energy. You can think of it like spin, but with that mass factored in. And the sun had too much spin and too much mass. To survive, it had to shed some of that. But not gradually, violently. The sun shed superheated plasma into space. And these were huge globs of plasma, millions of miles.
The sun is a portal. You heard it from me first. It's a portal. Trust me.
Wide, spinning away from their parent star. As these plasma balls cooled, they condensed into planets. This explained everything the accretion model couldn't. Why planets orbit in a flat plane. They all came from the sun's equator. Why they have angular momentum. They took it with them when they spun out of the star. Why hot Jupiters exist. Some planets just didn't travel as far from home.
Forgive me.
Van Flandern noticed something else. Planets seem to be born in pairs. Earth and Venus are nearly identical in size. Jupiter and Saturn are both gas giants. Even their positions follow a pattern. Their orbits have specific ratios to each other. The math works. But some planets in our solar system don't have partners. Mercury's orbit is all wrong. Pluto acts more like a captured moon than a planet.
Y'all know Pluto is not a planet no more, right? I wonder if on Pluto, like if I'm standing in the middle of Pluto, being that it's so small, I would be able to see it. You know, I'm bugging.
Planetoid. And then there's Mars. Mars was the real problem. Too small. Wrong orbit. Wrong density.
The giants
it didn't match
is on
any
Mars.
pattern Van Flandern could find. That's when Van Flandern made a bold conclusion.
Yo, we not talking 9 feet. We talking 16, 17, 20 feet giants, bro.
Mars wasn't a planet that failed to follow the rules. It was a moon. A moon from a planet that was destroyed millions of years ago.
That I didn't know.
Maldak. Most of the planet was vaporized, but not all of it. Many pieces of debris still remain in the same orbit where Maldak once was. We call this debris field the asteroid belt.
No, you ain't asking me. No, you ain't asking me. But I'm hoping you can see. I'm praying you can see.
Get the fucking commercials. Like, how you got commercials on?
In 1766, a German mathematician named Johann Titius was playing with numbers.
Yo, a little monkey wrench skirt. Hitler, he was in contact with, I believe, the Nordics. Don't quote me on that. Well, are the Nordics the same species as the tall whites? No,
But he
no.
noticed something strange.
Yeah, it was the Nordics. Hitler, man. Where y'all think he got all that technology from? Yo, listen, man. Like dudes like Tesla, Einstein, all these geniuses, bro. That information was teleported to them from the other side. Come on. Stop playing.
About our solar system. The planets weren't randomly scattered. They followed a mathematical pattern. Here's how it worked. Start at 0.4 astronomical units from the sun. 1 astronomical unit is the distance from the sun to the Earth. So you take that 0.4, then double the distance for each new planet. That sequence perfectly predicts the orbits of Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. When another German astronomer, Johann Bode, published this formula,
How are the planets in a mathematical pattern? Answer that. How? That means, June, there is a creator.
1772, Bode's law predicted the orbits of all 6 known planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. All there, right where the math said they would be. But the formula predicted something else. Between Mars and Jupiter, at exactly 2.8 astronomical units from the sun, there should be another planet. A big one. Astronomers started searching. In 1781, they found Uranus, exactly where Bode's law said it was, even though the formula was created before anyone knew Uranus
Anybody know what Bode's law is? I've never heard of that. Dude, put it in the comments.
existed. That's when people really started paying attention. So where was this missing planet between Mars and Jupiter? Well, on New Year's Day, 1801, Italian astronomer Giuseppe Piazzi found something. A small object orbiting at 2.77 astronomical units, almost exactly where Bode's law said the missing planet should be. He named it Ceres. But Ceres was tiny, less than 600 miles.
Ceres. Let's talk about that. I know everybody, y'all all know about Ceres, Anunnaki. We're going to talk about Ceres and the Anunnaki probably next because they say they're returning. I know that spaceship that looked like a rock called Momoa, something like that. A Hawaiian named after, like somewhere in Hawaii. Yeah, they saying that's the Anunnaki returning.
Cross. That's a little smaller than Texas. Then astronomers found Pallas, then Vesta, then Juno, and more and more and more. By 1850, they'd found 13 objects in the same region.
Wow.
Today, we know of millions of rocks in orbit in that zone, and we call it the asteroid belt. Now, some scientists said these were just leftover building materials, debris that never formed a planet.
No way.
But a German astronomer named Wilhelm Olbers had a different idea. What if a planet did form there? And what if something destroyed it?
Different.
He even gave the hypothetical planet a name, Phaeton, after the Greek god who lost control of the sun's chariot and nearly destroyed Earth. When critics pointed out the asteroid belt didn't have enough mass for a whole planet, Olbers had an answer. If a planet exploded in the vacuum of space, most of it wouldn't stick around. The debris...
Wow. He's really breaking down like the history of the universe. Like, can you fathom how many years all of this space has been around? Mind blowing.
It would reach escape velocity. Some would fall into the sun, some would fly off into deep space, some would vaporize. What we see today, maybe 5% of the original mass, is exactly what you'd expect to find from a massive planet that was destroyed.
Wow.
Neptune was discovered in 1846. That didn't fit Bode's law at all. Critics said the whole Bode's law thing was a coincidence. But Van Flandern saw it differently. Neptune's orbit wasn't wrong, it had been altered. Uranus was spinning on its side. Pluto's orbit is tilted and erratic. These anomalies weren't.
I heard it twice. It's the universe telling me I gotta look up Bode's law. I'm gonna get back to y'all about that Hawaiian spaceship that looked like a rock that's coming towards us that they say is the